I'm going to take the COVID test soon and I'm scared.
In 100 yards, at the roundabout, take the third exit and stay on Great Parkway.
I got my test results and I was tested positive for COVID-19. Right now it's 2 p.m. I have been awake since 5 a.m. because my body just wouldn't let me sleep. I'm literally so tired. I'm gonna try and force myself to rest, but it's so hard. I'll fight through this. I'm sorry, like, you have to see this view because, like, I'm literally in bed. If you see that thing on the screen, it's in my camera lens. I think it might be a water vapor, but I don't know how to get it out. Anyways, I just thought I'd update in the moment. My nose feels a bit funny. I've actually lost my smell and taste. I can't smell anything, I can't taste anything. I didn't lose my appetite, so I can eat. I can still eat, you know, I can feel my stomach a bit. I've got a really bad migraine right now. It's really painful. Now when I cough it hurts a bit and my throat just feels really dry. I feel breathless, like when I talk or when I just move about. I just feel so tired. I took some Panadol. Hopefully that will ease the pain. It feels like I'm gonna pass out all the time and it's really tough. Hello my lovelies, it is Sumra. I was tested positive for COVID-19. The past couple of days have been really bad and I couldn't even talk properly. So today is a little better because I'm able to talk. I didn't want to wait until I recover to film this video. I thought that I'd film it while I'm going through it, while I'm experiencing it. I'm just speaking on my own personal experience and obviously I don't know everything, so I will just talk on the things that I know and share it with you all because I think this is very important. We are living in the midst of a pandemic right now with the virus COVID-19 and I happen to have gotten the virus, so I just want to talk about it. If you're new here, my name is Sumra. I live in Newcastle, United Kingdom. My city, it was doing so well before, but recently the cases have risen really fast. So my city is one of the top cities in UK where it's really bad with the COVID cases. I did go out 2 times in the past couple of weeks. One of the places being the grocery store. The other place is the city centre. I did not go alone, I went out with my family. So those were the 2 places that I went to in the past couple of weeks. The city centre is like the main place in Newcastle, and there's a street that I went by which is Northumberland Street, and there tends to be a lot of people on that street. When I go out, me and my family, we always make sure to take precautions to stay safe. We wear a mask, we social distance. I literally get so anxious when someone comes within my 2-meter bubble. We always make sure to follow the rules, even though there are a lot of people in the UK who don't actually follow the rules because they just don't care about the virus and the situation of the pandemic. They don't take it seriously. But yeah, me and my family, we take this pandemic very seriously and we always make sure that we follow the rules. I'm not the only one with the virus. My whole family has the virus too, so I'm gonna get into that. So I think that we might have gotten the virus from city centre and it was airborne. Today that I'm filming this video, it is Friday 9th of October, just about a week ago, Friday 2nd of October, my mum, she started to feel ill and I started to feel ill too. Me and my mum, we were the first ones to start feeling ill. Something just wasn't right we just suddenly felt really ill. The next day, 3rd of October, Saturday, my mum went to go take a test and she got her results the next day, which was on 4th of October. She tested positive for COVID-19. So on Saturday, my body felt really tired. I felt fatigue. I had a headache. I just didn't feel right. I tweeted this at 7 a.m. on 4th of October. My body feels so weak. Please don't be COVID. I literally tweeted that. Yeah, my body just felt so weak. And that was before my mum got her test results. At this point, we all started to feel ill. Me, my mum, dad, my little brother, and my older brother. By the way, I have an older sister, if you're not aware, but she's married and she lives separately. She was actually living with us during the start of the pandemic, and then she moved out around July. My sister's living a different house. She doesn't have COVID, thank God. In this house, it's me, my parents, my older brother and my older brother and little brother. So we all basically fell ill. Me and my older brother Shamim, we started to feel really terrible. So my mum booked us a test at 5 p.m. on Sunday, 4th of October. My dad drove me and my older brother Shamim to the testing place, and it was like a drive-through testing thing. So we basically just had to open our window and someone would come and do it for us. We can either do it ourselves or get someone else to do it, and I just got someone else to do it just in case I do it wrong. My brother Shamim, he did it first. When he did it, he said he felt something in his nose and it really hurt. He kind of like teared up a bit because it kind of just triggered his tears. So I was really scared, and then it was my turn to do it. The test that I did, there is like a long cotton swab, so they do it on your throat first. It didn't hurt, it just felt a little bit uncomfortable, you know, just like he just basically put it in my throat, and then my nose, which I was so scared of, because I've seen how, you know, they go really deep inside, but for me it didn't even go deep inside. I felt a little bit ticklish, but it did not hurt at all for me, and I'm not even joking. I was so scared to take the test, but I was scared for nothing because I didn't feel anything, which was good. But my brother, he felt something. I feel like it's a different experience for everyone. It can be ticklish, it can hurt, it can be uncomfortable. For me, my experience with taking the test, it didn't hurt at all. We got our test results the next day on Monday, so this was on the 5th of October at 12:17 p.m. I got a message from the NHS. I tested positive for COVID-19. Now, when I got my test results, I was not surprised. I had knew at that point that I was tested positive. I was really ill, and just everyone in my family was ill, so my dad and my little brother, they did not take the test. Pretty sure that they're positive as well because of all the symptoms that they showed. All of our symptoms are kind of different, and I feel like COVID hits everyone differently. Let me just read out the symptoms that I had. So I wrote it like this. Okay, so on Friday the 2nd of October, I was feeling off. On Saturday, fatigue and headache. Sunday, coughing, sore throat. Monday, coughing, sore throat, tight chest, breathlessness. Tuesday, sore throat, body aching, breathlessness, and I also lost my smell and taste. Wednesday, migraine, dizzy, still lost smell, lost taste. Thursday, tight chest, sore throat, and then Friday, which is today, sore throat, migraine. Was it Wednesday and Thursday, which was yesterday and the day before, I had it like really bad with my chest, where even just breathing, it felt like I had run a marathon. The migraine is so painful. It makes you feel so heavy. And the fatigue that I felt and that I still kind of feel, it just makes you so tired. It's like, you know, when you're ill, it's like that, but times 100. For me, the worst thing is the tight chest, my lungs, because I felt really breathless. Like today I actually feel okay. My lungs, they feel kind of okay, Today it's more of like my throat. Every single day the symptoms change. Like when I go to sleep and I wake up, I wake up feeling different. It's like something is different. So every country deals with the pandemic differently. The UK is not particularly good at dealing with this pandemic. If you are tested positive for COVID-19 in the UK and your symptoms are not life-threatening, like you're not about to die, I guess, then you just have to stay at home. You just have to stay at home and try to treat yourself, try to take care of yourself. Because my situation with COVID is not life-threatening, I'd say, I don't have to go to the hospital. I just have to stay at home and try to take care of myself. So as I mentioned, the rest of my family also have COVID. I think that my older brother and little brother, they feel a lot better today. My mum and dad, they don't feel so well today. Like they were okay yesterday, but then they don't really feel too well today. It's kind of hit them kind of badly today. So it's up and down, and for me it's like it's not that bad, but obviously it's still there. I still feel the virus in my body. I usually tend to get like the normal flu and cold when the weather gets colder, the weather change, you know, but in general I don't actually get ill that often. Like when I'm in Malaysia I get ill a lot because of the hot weather and the air conditioning, but in the UK I probably get ill like once a year, or if not at all. When I started to feel ill the past week, the way that I felt ill is just completely different to what anything I've ever experienced in my life. And I'm telling you that as someone who has not experienced any health problems in my life, COVID-19 is the worst thing that I have ever experienced. Honestly, it's the worst. You know, the saying, you don't know what it's like until you go through it yourself, has never been more true, because I knew how serious it was, but I had never experienced it, and then now I'm experiencing it, and honestly I understand this is a very sensitive topic for me, but I feel like I need to talk about it and mention it in this video. On 6th of April this year, my grandfather passed away. Actually a few days before he passed away, I had FaceTimed him, and when I FaceTimed him he actually had the virus, and I asked him how he was doing, and he said that he was doing okay, he was doing well. And then just like a few days later he was admitted to the ICU, and then he passed away on April 6th. He didn't have any underlying health problems, but he was 71, so he was an elderly. He was very healthy before this. He had never been to the hospital. He was just a very healthy man, and the virus took over his body, and he passed away. My grandfather was the 63rd person to have passed away in Malaysia. So he passed away in Malaysia, and he was the 63rd person to have lost his life to COVID-19. So losing my grandfather to this virus has been so hard, and I guess you would understand that because he lost his life from COVID-19, it was pretty traumatic for me. My grandfather was the closest person to me that I have lost in my 20 years, so his passing heavily impacted me, and it was very hard. It still is hard when I think of my grandfather. The way that I live my life and my mindset and just everything, it changed completely since I lost him. A lot of people who go through grief and who lose a loved one understand what I'm talking about, because it just changes you. Not everyone can fight this virus, and my grandfather was one of those people who wasn't able to recover from this virus. Actually, before my grandfather had passed away, he was in the ICU, and they took his I think it was his oxygen, they took his oxygen off, and he was actually awake before he passed, and he recited the Shahada before he passed. So my grandfather was such a wonderful man, and I still feel his light, like he's around, and I miss him dearly. So yeah, I've been going through grief this year. Every time that I go out, I think about my grandfather and how he lost his life to this virus, and I always keep that in mind, that I could potentially be someone, if I'm not careful, I could be someone who could get the virus and spread it. Someone who is a lot more vulnerable could get it and lose their life, and imagine the pain of their loved ones. I always have that in my mind because I went through a lot of pain since losing my grandfather, and I would never want anyone else to go through that pain, let alone anyone else to lose their life. So I always take precautions. I know that we did our best and we have no regrets. We don't look back on ourselves and think, oh, if only I didn't do this, then I wouldn't have gotten the virus, because we did everything we possibly can to make sure that we stayed safe, and we still got the virus. To everyone who is not taking this pandemic seriously, this virus seriously, please understand how serious this is. Me and my whole family, we have the virus, and it's not easy. Like, it's the worst thing I've experienced. This morning, actually, my throat felt like it was last night. It felt like my throat was swelling up. It felt very, very small. Yeah, just, it's not a good time. COVID is not a good time. So I have like these essential oils by Young Living. My mum loves this brand, and this is peppermint, and this usually smells really strong. I can't smell anything, literally. It's so weird. Like, I've literally lost my smell and my taste. I ate chilies and I couldn't taste anything. It's just so strange. So on a day-to-day basis, breathing, tasting food, smelling food, all these things, even talking, you don't really think about it, like that it's just normal for you. But then when you have COVID and you struggle to do all of these things, you realize how good you had it when your health was perfectly fine. So I was told by the NHS, I got a text from the day that I took my test, I think, or from when I had symptoms. I have to self-isolate for 10 days. It is illegal for me to leave my house within those 10 days, which I'm completely fine with, honestly. I think it's going to be a lot more longer than that I'm going to quarantine, because I'm just so scared to go out. And even since the beginning of this pandemic, I have been mostly staying at home. I do go out sometimes, but I don't go out a lot. Usually when I go out, it's more of like going to the grocery store and going to like a nature place, like the woods, the forest, just like a nature area. I went to city centre on Wednesdays, so that's probably where I got the virus from. I think that's where me and my family got the virus from. My body has never felt so physically weak in my life as I have with experiencing COVID-19. There is so many cases in the UK right now, and only 18% of people who are tested positive with COVID-19 stay at home. So you can imagine all the people who go out, because a lot of people in this country do not care. They do not care. Every time I think about the UK government and the way that they deal with this pandemic, it just makes me so angry. UK is such a joke, such a joke. I'm starting to have a migraine. I never understood how important vitamins were until this year. Vitamins really help with your immune system, so I recommend taking vitamin C and vitamin D3. Those are the ones that I take. I actually don't really like taking Panadol, but I know that if the pain is too much, then I will take Panadol. Yeah, other than that, I don't really take anything else. This is just my own individual experience with the virus and how I deal with it. I've heard that COVID, when you have COVID, it can give a long-term damage to your lungs, but it can recover or get better over time. I hope it doesn't damage my lungs. There is actually this quote that I read online that I'm going to share. Allah tests different people with different trials because everyone has a different level of patience, tolerance, and faith. And I believe that's true. Every hardship that I go through is just a way for me to get closer to Allah and to grow stronger as a person. I do believe that, inshallah, me and my family will pull through this and recover and be stronger. The thing that has really helped me get through a lot of the struggles and trials that this year has brought is my patience, just having patience and trust, having trust in Allah, because everything that you go through, you go through for a reason. And maybe while you're going through that specific thing you may not understand it, but then later on in life you may understand that the reason that you went through it is because Allah wanted to test you. Allah tests the ones that He loves most. So my advice, or some words that I would give to you guys, is to please, when you go out, wear a mask. Everywhere you go, wear a mask, especially when you're in public places. Try to avoid crowded areas. Drink lots of water. I mean it now more than ever. Drink lots of water. Stay hydrated, because water really helps your body and it helps with this virus. So always make sure that you're hydrated. Always be grateful for your health and for everything that you have, because it can be taken away at any moment. You don't know how much of a blessing your health is until something like this happens, where breathing, talking, eating, smelling becomes a difficulty. So always be grateful and thank Allah for all your blessings. Always be kind to everyone, because you don't know what someone is going through, and this year is taking a toll on everyone. So please just be nice to people, because everyone goes through their own individual struggles. Don't compare yourself to someone else and think that they have it better than you, because you don't know what they could be struggling with. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has left me a lovely message and words of encouragement and support. It really means a lot. Please take care of yourselves and stay safe. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.